right, we're live. Well, how is everybody doing today? Ninja, are you at Vision? That seems to be where a lot of people are. Let me know how, Sergio, what's up? Let me know how the stream looks. I've actually changed my camera out, so let me know how it comes across on YouTube. Garrett, how you doing? Positivity, what's up? Jose, yeah, I'm still flat rating. Flat rate for life, baby. Is that a little better, Sergio? Yeah, it's the I'm using my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K and it is full 4K, so it's, you know, and it kind of stretches out the background a little bit. Yeah, I got to figure out how to fix that, but today's not that day. The Blackmagic is 100% manual focus, so I don't know if anybody in the audience knows, well, when you plug a Sony camera, which has phenomenal autofocus, which is what I normally film my videos with, when you plug it into a capture card, autofocus goes away. And I've had problems on stream where it kind of goes fuzzy, and then I have to put my hand in front of the camera to get it to refocus. Evan, thoughts on a top-down scanner? It's a launch-based tool, so it's good. I think Top-Down just got back into the auto auth program with Chrysler, so you can actually use it with Chrysler products, which is kind of important if you work on Chrysler products. But other than that, it's a launch-based tool, so it'll pretty much do everything a launch scan tool will do. So starting out this Positivity, I'm curious what's going on through your head, or what do you think is happening in management's head when they hire more newer techs? I look at a mom and pop shop and just curious on your thoughts. Adam, what do you mean rip Eric the car guy? What happened to Eric? Did he retire or did he die? Let me know, Adam. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Eric. Eric the car guy I don't know personally, so I don't have any personal contacts with him. Couple things with shops adding a bunch more techs. Retire? Oh, I mean, you know, he hasn't been able to find a shop. I mean, he's probably still making decent money on YouTube just on what is content he's put out there that has millions of views. Yeah, Garrett, that's what I was thinking, because he's had some health issues in the past. Two things: if they're hiring a bunch of people, they think that if they're just hiring a bunch of people to fill the floor, they're under the assumption that hire them, the work will come. And it's usually especially in a flat rate situation, it's put a bunch of people on the floor and hope they make money, and the shop will make money because they only have to pay flat rate. The problem, and that helps with like surges and of, work and that kind of stuff, but it is not sustainable over the long term. They're hiring younger, newer techs in a more concise way. It might be because they want to train technicians how they want them to act. So that'd be my two thoughts on hiring a more newer techs. I personally like hiring young techs. They're malleable. You can teach them. If you get the right candidate, they're willing to learn, and, they're not so set in their ways. A lot of older techs, me included, can be very stuck in our ways of, like I've never been, I've been doing that for 20 years. I'm always looking for a better way to do things, but a lot of people aren't. So, it's always a double-edged sword with young technicians on how they, what happens to them as far as how careful they are. Adam, I saw on Indeed, Honda in Phoenix, Arizona is paying $65 per hour. Damn, that's good. Don't want to move to Arizona, but, All right, so a topic I wanted to kind of cover, post your questions in the comments. I'll get to them after I talk about this, is I found out I'm a GIF, but I'm not a GIF. And, I'm sure you know what a GIF is. When you go to respond on Facebook or whatever, you can post a GIF. But anyway, before I show you the GIF, because I didn't post it, somebody else did. I know who posted it, but they tagged me in it. They tagged me in. I get tagged in a lot of stuff. I mean, I've got vidIQ on my other desktop, and I can see when a video tags me in their tags, which isn't really useful on YouTube, but like on TikTok, I'll get mentions. On Instagram, I'll get tagged, and I've been tagged in this GIF. And so if you search anywhere that does GIFs, Flat Rate Master, this will come up. So I'm going to switch over to that and switch cameras. So this is, that is the infamous Bam Bam. He would never come on camera for me, but for a ex-technician I used to work with, he'll tag me as the GIF. So if you say it says flat rate master GIF. So if you want to know what Bam Bam looks like, there you go. That's Bam Bam. But yeah, he was apparently screwing around with GIFs and tagged me in it, unfortunately, for Bam Bam, because he got outed on social media. Company I'm at has had 4 guys quit this year. Crazy, even though bosses told me good luck finding a job because no one is hiring. Dude, everyone's hiring for one thing. Everybody's hiring. Finding a job in this market is not hard. Finding a good job in this market is not hard. It is an employee's market. And, it literally, you have your pick of jobs. You can pick and choose who you want to go to work for. If you want to work hourly, chances are they'll pay hourly if they want you that bad. But the fact that he's had 4 guys quit this year and he's telling people good luck finding a job. Yeah. Who's out of touch? Hang on a second. Hopefully I didn't scream in your ears. My daughter's dog is barking like crazy for something, probably because he hears me. That was strange. It like cut out and I had to close out and go back in the stream, your channel, to get the live stream. That's weird. I hit the mute button, but that was just me screaming at the dog. You know, he's a good dog, except he likes to bark at everything. So obviously I'm not at Vision. I've actually never gone to Vision. I want to go, but definitely was not happening this year with the stuff going on. I've got already planned and everything. So, I'm guessing Erica announced in a video. So what other questions we got? But yeah, so if anybody wanted to know what Bam Bam looks like, now you know. The infamous Bam Bam. Aaron, are you back to work or just doing the YouTube thing? Yeah, I'm back to work. Yeah, no, I've done a video on it. I'm not relying on a shop owner to let me use their shop. You know, I stayed at that old shop for, I stayed at that shop way longer than I should have. I should have quit 2 years ago because of the YouTube thing. I should have just left there. I mean, I was pretty miserable. Too much shady stuff going on, if you get my drift. Foxbox, if you weren't a mechanic, what would you do? Like right now? If I got out of auto repair and the YouTube thing wasn't going to pay the bills, I don't know. Haven't given it much thought. I have as God, I'm losing it. The guy from Taken. Before you hit them up, before you were talking, I don't know what happened, Garrett. I don't know. Stream health's good. I don't know. Other than a warning about captions, I don't know what happened. YouTube being YouTube. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really explored any other alternative careers, really. I was going to say, like, the guy says in Taken, which guy that played Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars, said I have a unique set of skills and skills that pay pretty well. So I body wise, I could still do it. So why not keep doing it? I enjoy it. So, stream is good. Are Sunex tools any good? Yes. The ADV products on the Matco truck they're from the same company. I don't know exactly how much similarities there are between the products. I don't know how they're made, or they're made by the same company, and I've beat the snot out of a bunch of different ADV stuff, so they're good. Aaron, what transmission jack do you recommend? I'm tired of using the shop's old grungy jack. Honestly, the best one on the market is expensive as hell, and it's from Snap-on. The snap-on one is phenomenally good. Every other one I've used within 6 or 8 months, the pistons are leaking. OTC doesn't make theirs anymore. You know, they just aren't made like they used to. Let's see. Gray. Pneumatic. No. Transmission jacks. The other one I can suggest, which is, from what I understand, was the OEM for OTC, is the gray hydraulic gray hydraulic. Transmission jack is also good, but again, expensive. All right. Patrick, what PO system you're using? RO Rider. Positive Incarnate, have you tried the right wrenches? I've heard good things though. I've heard good things though. I've already really been considering the Mac RBRT wrenches, though they are pricey. The right wrenches are good. I've only had cursory use of them. But yeah, they're excellent wrenches. Hero Rider says Sonic sockets are very good. Yes. Phil H, good old Chinese X-Tool ad came up right before I started watching your stream. Well, good. Ads pay the bills for the channel. Isa, what's up? Phil H, what welder you got experience with? That's good. MIG-wise, not flux core. MIG-wise, my experiences have been with, a Hobart machine. No real problems with that. A snap-on machine. No real problems with that other than the Hobart machine. Duty cycle on it kind of sucked, which is pretty common with lower end brands like Hobart. Cool, Carl. Glad to hear it. Then Miller. I don't think I've used Lincoln Electric, but not on MIG, only on stick. I've used a couple Miller welders. Honestly, that's the brand I would go with. Even though Lincoln Electric has a headquarters here in Atlanta, I've never had any issues with Miller. So they have parts availability. You never have to worry about getting things for a Miller welder. Assel, I remember that commented about 2 weeks ago on the live stream about the shop I work at, started to work on Euros. The owner came in, saw how we were struggling, we were working on them, and told the GM, we are no longer going to work on them. That's a good thing. Got the BMW done, and it needed time if chains and Vanos. Yeah. Nah, imagine that, a BMW needed chains. Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, it's if your technicians are BMW, you know, European cars are their own beast. And if you're not familiar with them, it's easy to be, just get your butt kicked by them. Once you know them, they're not that hard. Information's a lot harder to come by with them. And but if you're not familiar with them, it's really can be quite difficult to work on them. So if you know, they want to work on Euros, they need to hire a dedicated Euro tech, could be the best thing. But general managers might just be looking at, oh, we can make lots of money on them. That happened at the old shop where the shop manager decided he wasn't missing out on them Land Rover brake jobs. So he started bringing in Land Rovers. And yeah, every now and then we'd get a very expensive brake job, except they'd come back with anything but OEM pads on it. Like, we could not get a Land Rover that didn't make noise with Akabono, with any of the Euro brand pads, none of them. TRW, which is the OEM for Land Rover, would make noise. Had to get the OEM pads. And then we started doing other stuff on them, and it just went to crap because they're crap cars. But nobody wanted to work on them except Eric, and he really didn't. He would work on them. He didn't want to work on them. Garrett, our shop, has a Sunix trans jack for a little bit over a year now, maybe almost 2. It's pretty good, no issues. The transmission jack at the old shop and the engine hoist were Sunix. The transmission jack 6 months in started leaking, and the jack for the engine hoist completely died, like blew out after less than 8 months. So your mileage will vary. Phil H, I couldn't write an RO if my life depended on it. We write our stories in pen, then screw the service owner. Then screw the service writer, have them, screw them, they push pens. That's what they paid to do. I'm actually pretty decent typist, and it never bothered me to type in tickets. Actually, I prefer it to the old-fashioned way. I do prefer having a computer terminal and, you know, adding my notes. One, I know I wrote those notes and they were in the ticket. I've had too many times where a service writer doesn't write any of my notes. Like I did a dissertation on one ticket at a shop, and like I wound up seeing the finished RO, and it was, you know, it was all this testing I did, and it came down to replace bad part. So I prefer doing the typing in an RO, but you know, what do you recommend for like body repair? I don't do body repair. I don't know. I did some of that stuff in tech school and realized I couldn't stand it. So, oh my, the dogs are going nuts. Give me a second. Sorry about that. My wife's dog was sitting there scratching at the office door. Adam, so if an older age tech are leaving the automotive career because supply and demand do not mean pay structure will go up. Yeah. The pay structure's already gone up, and at least in the markets I've looked at. But yeah, the lower the supply, the higher they're going to pay. They know they got to get somebody in there. They're going to pay for it. So yes, supply and demand always applies. Phil H, a man's got to know his limitations on euros. Oh yeah. I've seen so many people not know their limitations on euro, and shops. You know, a shop that doesn't know their limitations, and they're like, what do you mean we have to bring in somebody to program this? Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It requires programming. Positivity incarnate. My shop has a Sonex Transjack. We don't use it too much, but work for us. However, we only use it maybe once or twice a month, and use it more for gas tanks and transmissions. Yeah, I mean, the old upper shop, the Sonex replaced the fuel tank jack. The original one was an OTC. It blew out. It had already been rebuilt once. And so replaced it with Sonex, and you know, it started leaking. It's Garrett, that's crazy. I've only pulled out a couple Allisons on that Sonex jack. No issues other than slight issue. And as the tilt screw gets to a point, it binds a bit. Phil H, I've been hourly for 20 years. I care less what the advisor writes. I'm close to retiring anyway. Bringing the dogs in, what kind are they? My wife's dog is a used to be my mother-in-law's dog, but you know, she has dementia and she really can't care for the dog. It is a inbred, overbred miniature Pekingese. It is albino. And the reason I'm not going to bring her in is she might, well, start barking and biting my ankles. My daughter's dog is a Dachshund Terrier mix. It was an accidental pregnancy, and he's a good dog. He's getting up there in age, but the only issue, I mean, he will not go in the house. He will, you know, he's a really good dog, but he barks. You know, we joke, he hears a squirrel fart in the woods, he's barking. So, ISO, the pay structure went up, but the times are still getting cut. Yeah, they are. No parts availability and benefits suck, so being a tech still sucks anyways. You know, you make enough in, you know, 40, 50 hours on a good pay suck, you can pay for your own insurance. Just saying. But yeah, now there's shops out there that are doing the labor guide is a guide, not a Bible, and but yeah, I mean, there are still issues with the industry that aren't going to be changed overnight, and times going down are on the manufacturers, and you know, the dealership techs are the ones that are really getting screwed because they can't adjust those labor times on warranty work, and they are really sometimes getting screwed. So if you're a dealer tech, come to the dark side. ASIL, my shop owner is cool. He came up to me and said that he hates working on Euros too. LOL. Yeah. Art Bob, good what's better, Autel or Snap-on diagnostics scan tool? Autel. Snap-on will leave you stranded. The only advantage Snap-on has is the graphing is the best out there, but it'll leave you hanging on a lot of repairs. And what would be a good ATIS calibration tool? The right one. Performing ATIS is not really about the scan tool. It's more about the targets and making sure you have them properly set up per service information, have them, properly measured out, make sure they're square to the car and all that. That's the most important thing, because other than that, it's literally just pushing buttons. But if the targets are off, your calibration is off, and that's the danger part. Phil H, yes, she's albino. She has red eyes. My mother-in-law drove several 100 miles to Kentucky to go spend like $500-600 on the dog because she wanted a white dog. And when she goes to the bathroom, she has to spin about 4,000 times to go to the bathroom. But, what are we going to do with her? We're not going to, kill her because she, some idiots up in Kentucky overbred the crap out of their dogs. So she's, she's living a good life. She's fine. So 716, what's with the aftermarket parts? Always been bad, but now it's getting really bad. More specifically, Honda Civic starters. Three starters later, today we had a running. Oh God, reciprocating electric. What brand are you using? Because there's the one Honda Civic. God, I'm running a complete blank. The one that's, the later model one that's on the firewall side. You got to take the exhaust out. That one is really, really toothy about starters. I think the only one I've had a success with, and it's only marginally successful, was Denso, and that always wasn't a guarantee where it wouldn't grind. But yeah, rotating electric is really bad. Bosch you can't trust. Vallejo you can't trust. How Denso, I've had several out of the box. Adam, I ain't judging you for buying gear wrench. It's do they do the job? Then they're fine. I was never a tool snob. Like I never. Oh, Alejandro is what's the dark side? That'd be the independent side. Moving to the independent techs, being an independent tech instead of a dealer tech. Garrett, tell me about it. I did a Trans and a Sierra, and I think it paid like 4.1. Yeah. Or like every gas tank in every Tahoe or Suburban or whatever is 2.2 hours, no matter what. But yeah, no, it's the Phil H, bad parts. Try getting good plug wires for a 97 C1500. Try getting good plug wires for anything nowadays other than like an LS. God, Civics and stuff, the older distributor Civics and Honda Accords, NGK are about the only ones I would use on those. Philippe, thank you for your content. Apply much of what you preach for efficiency, diagnostic mentality, especially, and doing every training offered by my dealer. And now I'm the lead tech of the shop and finished my master certification. Awesome. Congratulations. Renegade, what's up? But yeah, that is awesome, Philippe. Glad I could help. It's it's kind of the main reason I started this channel, is to help young techs coming up. Polo, ever what? He's probably using O'Reilly's brand. Biggie Fitz, my uncle had an Italian Greyhound that would stand up on its front legs to pee. It was the craziest thing. Garrett, some jobs the diag are getting cut down to 0.3 warranty. Some jobs aren't even paying it anymore. Yeah, it sucks. Warranties gotta change for everybody involved. It's not sustainable on the dealer side, and it's, independent shops are just going to mark it up if they can't make money doing it at what that states, whatever the warrant, the retail side of it, what all data says. They're just going to mark it up because techs aren't going to stand for it on the independent side either, and we can complain about it. Dealer techs, all they can do is, do a warranty, whatever the hell they call it. Paulo Fiera, never had a problem with a Denso starter or alternator or any Denso part. Lucky you. The Civic I was talking about, that one's a weird car anyway. It tends to grind on starters a lot. There's no shims for it, nothing like that. But I've had an out of the Denso. I mean, especially during COVID, like I had a Denso that the front bearing was screaming out of the box. Like it sounded like a cat getting shredded in the car kind of noise. That was just one example, but I've had several problems, especially at the height of COVID and thereafter. So Denso's not immune in my opinion. Art Bob, Etterbob, I currently work in the auction field, and I can say pay and benefits are the best I've ever received in my automotive career. Is that considered the dark side? Yeah, pretty much. You're not at the dealer relying on warranty pay, so yeah, you're on the dark side. Phil H, I was a leave due tech in the shop. Now I'm the old guy who's in his corner. Yeah. Yeah. 716 now. How's your new shop? I hope they show you appreciation. Yep. Very happy with my current job. '96 CR, only good plug wires for the C15 were the ones you make at the house, old school. The problem is you can't even find good bulk plug wires anymore. Made many plug wires back in my day, and they're not as good. George B ever made it out to Vision, Kansas City. First time here, and day one classes were pretty cool. Unfortunately, I have never been to Vision. I've tried to go several times. One year, I had everything ready, and everything was sold out. I literally could not get a ticket. And then it just has not worked out since then. But I would love to go there. I know a bunch of people there right now. I would love to go, but it wasn't going to happen this year. Charles, is Scotty Kilmore ever going to retire? I mean, every 6 months he puts out a video saying he's done. The clickbait king. I actually do not get his crap in my feet anymore. Quick word of advice. Next to the videos, there's 3 little dots. Click that and remove from recommended list or something like that. It'll cut down on them serving that up to you. Ooh, excuse me. But like, it's not a foolproof. Like Facebook feed or whatever, I get Car Wizard, and I've multiple times said I don't want this crap, and they still feed it to me. So, Phil H, what do you mean auction side? He means he works at an auction. There's a lot of refurb, reconditioning, verifying the cars are actually, running and driving and stuff like that. So I know some people that work at auctions. Garrett, I submitted for warranty review one time. It was a 3.6 head I replaced. Head paid 10 hours. Head gasket played 17. GM cut the head gaskets to 10 hours. Yeah. Yeah, that was a typo. Yeah, that's, unfortunately, that is one big problem. 716 AutoZone was the first starter. Then we went to with United Auto, and finally Napa had one that actually cranked over, but it's probably be doing it again. Yeah. Not really familiar with United Auto, but AutoZone, yeah, crap. Napa, probably crap. Adam, my friend, is addicted to brake cleaner. Aren't we all? I mean, be honest. Chris, I dropped my tools off at my shop to fill in for a while. Went shopping at Harbor Freight and odds and ends. I couldn't find today. Oh my God, the quality. Icon looks amazing. So much better quality. Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of it's made, I believe, at the same plant that Gear Wrench stuff is made. It's excuse me. I'm kind of addicted to, I don't like putting any greasy tools back in my box. Yeah, no, I don't like putting greasy stuff back in my toolbox. On my roll cart's fine. Back in a drawer needs to be cleaned up. Phil H, I was wanting to go to Vision with Brian Mann from YouTube. There's lots of people there from YouTube. Charles, spark plug wires, look up the Excel Ceramics spark plug wires. They're more expensive, but that'll solve your problem. Good luck. I don't have any experience with those. Garrett, I would love to do like a Vision or Super Saturday or something like that as well. Obviously, being at a dealership, they won't send me to the aftermarket training. Most people at Vision or Super Saturday, other than entire shops, are self-funded. Most technicians pay to go by themselves unless their shop is paying. But if you go to something like that, you'll find a lot of techs are paying to be there themselves. The only event like that I've ever been to that I didn't pay for was actually STX down in Orlando. That was the only trip I've gotten my travel covered. Every other trip I've taken for training, be it up in New York, TST, Auto Mechanica, every one of those was self-funded by me. It's just some examples. A friend of mine developed a drinks brake fluid when I warned him of oh, that's a dad joke right there. Warned him of the dangers. He said, no worries, I can stop anytime. Oh, dad jokes. Chris Storback, I keep getting flatratemaster pollute my feed. It's disturbing. Then I realized I was a subscriber. Now here I am. Oh, yeah. Phil H, you have a good night too. Enjoy the Miller. Charles, I run those on almost everything that people want to afford for. I haven't had a problem yet. Oh, cool. Justin Hayward, you got both. Thanks for the new job. Yeah. STX is stupid expensive. ASTE is a good one. I didn't pay for STX. And yes, it is expensive. It was funny because I drove down. Orlando is 6 hours away. The airport in Atlanta is a nightmare for most things. And I've been stuck at the airport for hours. So like, I'll just drive down. I can smoke cigars and enjoy the drive down. Bam Bam, who was going with me, wound up flying down, and that turned into a whole cluster. He got there and everything. It was just, I'd rather just drive. So the boss paid my gas money, and that was fine. 716, any thoughts on the Snap-on thermo imager? I hope I didn't waste my money. Just ordered one yesterday. Price wise, they're just a little bit more expensive than I'm having some brain farts today. Fleer, but they're good. I'm almost positive it uses Fleer's programming where Snap-on puts some of their stuff into it, because it acts just like a Fleer from my experience. And so the sensors are probably made by Bosch, just like the Fleer ones are. So, but no, it's a good one. That's the thermal imager I own, is Snap-on. Andrew Leitz, I watched your Redback video from 6 years ago. Yeah, that was an old video. Do you still use them? Yes. I bought a pair and find the break-in to be rough. Yes. If you're doing the slip-on style Redbacks, you want the break-in period to be rough. The reason I say that is if you buy them too loose, when they get worn in, they will be too loose. They will flop on your feet. Normally because every, I don't know, 8 months to a year or so, I don't remember. The last pair of boots I wore, the toes out. The soles were fine, but literally had a hole in the toe because the old shop's concrete floors in my bays was literally sandpaper, because the old boss spread the sand in my bays at like 4 a.m, and it's literally just sandpaper across my entire bays. I had to use pads for when I kneeled because it's just sandpaper, and it wore the tips of my boots out. But anyway, normally when I replace those boots, I will wear the new boots for a day, go back to the old boots so my feet don't hurt really bad the next day, and then kind of alternate in and out. But yeah, getting them worn in is rough. So just be prepared. Once you get them worn in, these will be the most comfortable work boots you've ever worn. After you do the upgraded soles, or go to, Dr. Scholl's or whatever and get better insoles. But yeah, once you do that, they're comfortable as hell. Motor City Mechanic, who's a complete cheap ass. Those are the boots he wears, and he wears them everywhere. Not terribly long ago, I had dinner with him, and he was wearing Redbacks at the restaurant. So yeah, they're ISO, I've never owned a BMW 3 Series. If I get one, will I be doing much more repairs on it than my Acura? Yes. I kind of dislike working on my own cars. Yeah, BMWs are, depending especially how it was cared for, do tend to be a little more maintenance heavy. Oil leaks are much, much more common than an Acura. A lot of times because of lack of maintenance. Remember 10,000 mile oil changes. They're bad no matter what. But you're going to wind up, depending on the year of it, replacing the valve covers because the vent in the valve cover goes bad, etc., etc. So, yes. Charles, it's good, but there's lots of them out there that are a lot cheaper, just as good of quality as a Snap-on, just has a ginormous screen. Yes, but, you know, you already bought it, and it is actually good, so. Chris, mine is 4 years old, works good, nice custom set overlay of camera to IR blend, yep. ISO, Enright Auto, got a top-done thermal imager. It seemed good. Yeah, there's lots of options out there. Andrew, I found the heel on the back on the red backs to be stiff. It will be once it wears in, it'll be more flexible. What's different about the upgraded red back insoles? They're softer. That's all it is. You know, it's just a little more cushiony. I'm an old fart, so, you know, I like my feet to be comfy. Garrett, I had a pair of redbacks for about a year and a half. Now I'm on my 4th pair of insoles. Just put them in the other day. They're still holding up good. Not my comfiest pair, but they're good for how long? Yeah. What is the best oil extract? What is the best oil extractor for like basic transmission services? John Dow. John Dow is, you know, air powered. You stick the hose down there, you turn it on, and you let it go. Plenty of adapters, just works. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I at the old shop, because of my bays, I mostly, I mean, I wore out the soles as well because of the sandpaper, but I wore the tips. I'm like, I had to put the guards on, the tip guards, for that reason, and it just destroyed them. Like, you know, it just destroyed them because it was so. Charles, I can't lie. My main 2 shoes I wear are redbacks and flip-flops. I wear flip-flops on cruises and trips to go rafting in Helen and go to the beach. So 99% of the time I'm wearing redbacks. Oh my God. Every time at the old shop, I would show me wearing, anytime my flip-flops appeared on camera, there was like 4 million comments about me wearing flip-flops in the shop, you know, because they were, you know, I'd be setting up for like B-roll or whatever, and, you know, or not setting up, but I'd be taking B-roll, and my flip-flops would be in the shot, and they'd be screaming like, I'm not working on a car, I'm shooting a video. So, as long as the temperatures allow it, redbacks and flip-flops. I do have tennis shoes and then dress shoes, of course, but flip-flop master, yes. I wear a lot of, I have definitely adopted David Freiberger's opinion of flip-flops. The only time I wear flip-flops when it's too dang cold out. But yeah, I do wear flip-flops a lot. ISO, do you ever use the thermal imager for diagnosing parasitic draws, or an amp clamp or a multimeter on the negative posts? Which do you like the most? It has, first off, for thermal imager, yes, I've used it. It does have to be a pretty good size draw for it to show up, because it has to produce enough heat for it to heat up a component, and you have to have line of sight on it. So like if it's a module buried under the dash, you're not going to see it. When it comes to using an amp clamp, as Storback said, is not as accurate. You will have what they call float on the zero, where the zero on most amp clamps will, that's why you have to re-zero it, is it'll kind of float the longer it's on. So zero will kind of shift. It's really good for using an amp clamp to find you have a definite draw. But when it comes down to it, you really want to use a multimeter on the amp circuit in series on the negative post. That's the most accurate. You're actually going to know 100% accurately what your draw is, and 100% accurately if it goes away. So a lot of times I will hook an amp clamp to it if I've got a suspected amp draw, see what it's doing. If nothing comes up, but I've got a battery draining or whatever, then I will take the time to disconnect the battery and hook it up in series, and then let it sit there, and then go back to idle state, and hopefully it'll show how much it's drawing. But yeah, that would be how I do it. ISO fellow techs, we need to learn to dress classy when we're out. Come on, no smelly work gear. Let's make out ladies happy. Yeah, I don't wear work clothes, so. Polo, I wear New Balance running shoes at work. If they work for you, I can't do, my feet are too wide. I can't do like steel toes. I've never found steel toes that didn't wind up leaving very ugly marks in my feet. You know what I mean? Anyone ask about the M12 Milwaukee Inspector 360 camera yet? Saw that recently at my local Home Depot. Shop as an old Snap-on camera. Was looking at one for myself. Thoughts on the M12 one? Make sure we're not. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, don't buy that one. You want the Milwaukee Auto Technician borescope, much more suited for automotive. This is the one I did a video on. It's 1080p, great resolution, really good camera. The lighting's better than my Snap-on. No batteries like my Snap-on. That's the one you want, not the one for the plumber or whatever. You want the automotive one. The actual cameras, 5mm, so it'll go in spark plug holes and all that. I think the other one is like 8.5mm, but you definitely don't want that one. You want the automotive borescope. But it is pricey. So. 716 auto. I got my rear end handed to me on a battery draw a couple days ago. It was intermittent. I struggled all morning. Yeah, intermittent battery draws suck. Like I've had them go 2 days. I mean, I literally had, this Lexus kept coming back, and the other problem is the lady just let it sit. Like she would let it sit for days, weeks, and then, you know, battery was dead. She'd come back complaining, you know, always caked in mold and everything. And supposedly she put a battery tender on it. Her address is in the computer, and I looked it up. They don't have a parking deck. So I don't know where she's plugging it into, and it's a condo above a Sprouts. So yeah, those suck. Jack's Auto Repair, I tried Redback, Rock Rooster, expensive Bloodstones, and those cheapy Safe Toes on eBay. They all asked about the same, not buying any more expensive brands. Back in the shop, I just bought the Power Probe amp clamp for quick check. Seems pretty good standalone clamp option. Yeah, I mean, for that kind of stuff, I have my Snap-on probe and my Veris, so I just use that. Battery cable strippers. I've always used a knife, but they make something worth using. I haven't seen one that was really good. I just normally use a knife or a razor knife. I don't have a good recommendation on that one because I haven't found one. Do I carry a Leatherman? No. I have, literally I carry my wallet, my keys, and my phone. I always have around my around my toolboxes, I always have razor knives. So I don't carry a Leatherman now. Bought the new Snap-on probe recently. When I opened the box, I only found one disposable glove. Okay. Mark, what's up? Paulo, my 18-year-old son is interested in aircraft maintenance. Thoughts? A&P license. I've only known personally one technician that moved onto aircraft maintenance, and he works for Delta subcontractor, and that's a little frightening. Actually, that's not true. I've known two. The second guy worked for the shop temporarily while COVID was going on. He seemed really good. He seemed conscientious. But I really don't have any firsthand experience with aircraft maintenance, other than it's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of liability. You know, because aircrafts fall out of the sky if stuff goes bad. Rust Belt, what's going on? Good to see. He says, good to see the same toolbox in the background, and hope things are going well for you. Yeah, things are going great for me. How you been, dude? Sergio, if I get a year out of boots, I consider them worth it. Been through thoroughbreds. They last about a year. Yeah, no, I mean, if a good set of boots last about a year, they're probably worth it. Because I've had, when I first started working at the old shop, I wore slip resistant tennis shoes from Walmart. I think they were Tread Safe or something like that. And that's what I've been wearing for years. And I mean, they weren't expensive. They were like $30-40 or something like that. And I usually got 6 or 8 months out of them easily. It wasn't the sole wearing out. It was, you know, the side splitting or whatever, you know. And then went to the old shop, and then I was replaced. They'd be worn out in like 3 months on the sole. Because that's how rough my floor was at that point. And that's when I started doing the redbacks, is because, you know, $80 every couple weeks was hard. Every couple months was hard to swallow. Garrett, the new GMC Yukons and Sierras keep having random battery draws. Been told to program every module in the vehicle to correct them. Volvo years ago had a similar problem with what they called babbling modules. That was in the service information. I don't know if that's the problem with new stuff, but it happens. I mean, you know, I mean, I can give you a great example on my home network. My editing PC would randomly be on. Like I'd come in the office to go leave in the morning and it'd be just on. And I didn't actually turn it on. And I finally found it in the BIOS, wake on LAN. And what it would be was my server would ping it and my PC would come on. And that can happen with any module, is if it's babbling, it's going to draw power. So hopefully that fixes it. I don't know if it will, but hopefully. T. Corellis, yeah, I'm looking for something with better lighting and resolution to peer into the inside of a one box via the def dozer hole and for the occasional at-home use for cars. Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty impressed with the Milwaukee. The camera is worlds better than my Snap-on. Jack's Auto, the Thurgood has the best boat inserts. They get regular and thick memory foam. The regular works for me. Cool. Garrett, dude, I worked with used to work on aircraft back in the day. He said the biggest thing is your ears take a beating from the engines running in the hangars. I would bet. T. Corellis just saw that Tecton had a kit of dead blow hammers and US made. Have you heard anything about their dead blows or hammers? Everyone seems to graduate heavily to Snap-on. If they're US made, they are more than likely rebranded. I am so struggling with names tonight. Trusty-Cook. Don't ask me why, but it takes me a minute right now. They're probably rebranded Trusty-Cooks. Probably. Can't guarantee you that. I haven't looked into it, but if they're US made, they're probably Trusty-Cook. 716 auto. Napa, never any parts available. Yeah. Rust Belt going great, super busy, whole new world in the EV industry, but loving no flat rate and no more tool bills. Yeah, I feel you on that. One of the things I've changed is I don't buy tools just to review anymore. That got a little expensive and a little stupid, and I don't have any tool bills either. Quinn Steve's doing my first 4.2 Audi timing chain job this week. Kind of enjoying a single big job. Cool. That's a big job. Bunch of stuff about Rust Belt. Chris, I always prefer comfort and safe workwear over price and length of service life. Bates was always my favorite. Timberland and Cabela house brand been pretty good. Red Wings overhyped. I think I've only ever owned one Red Wings and I didn't like them. I've never had Timber, and I don't have a Cabela near me, so I'd have to be mail order. Mark M bought my first Harbor Freight thing. Instead of Icon hose picks, they're pretty decent. I looked up the Mac ones, and they're just Lisle ones at double markup. Might as well have a bigger grip. I mean, not picking on Icon or Mac. You know, Matco does the same thing with Mayhew hose picks. And Snap-on's just charged for theirs. But yeah, no, it's crazy how expensive that kind of stuff can be for what it is. T. Corellis, 5-piece dead blow kit, just under 300, doesn't seem bad. For a 5-piece dead blow kit, that's pretty good price. Rust Belt, LOL, me too. Sometimes 716 sticking with the Harley these days. Yeah, you sold the Duramax, didn't you? Comfort Medic HVAC. Have you tried Ariat? I have not. My son has a set of Ariat work boots. He wore them when he was up working with my stepson up in North Carolina. 716 later. Have a good one. Stay safe. He likes them. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people really don't like Red Wing for whatever reason. I don't remember why I didn't like them because it's been so long, but I know a bunch of people just cannot stand Red Wings. Excuse me. Rust Belt, yeah, sold that, and the Hemi Magnum. Had to drive too far for work now to keep the big engine stuff. Understandable. Comfort to have the Tread 6. They're really, really comfy. My son didn't come back from North Carolina complaining about them, and he's never worn work boots before, so if it's not broke, fix it. When it comes to one's feet, get the best footwear you can. Yes, I absolutely. I've talked about this in many videos, but yes, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We're on our feet all day. Most technicians work between 8 and 10 hours. Why would you not want to be comfortable standing for that length of time? Spend money on good shoes or boots. Comfort Medic HVAC. At some point this year, I plan on starting as an apprentice at a local dealership service center. Well, good luck. Andrew, I wear Red Wing mostly, but I wanted to try the Redbacks. I haven't had any reason to switch off a Redback since I started wearing Redbacks. Once you wear them in, they're comfy. Alex. Who typically makes more money, dealership techs or aftermarket techs in the U.S.? Here in Canada, the dealer techs make more. It's typical. That'd be a hard thing to me to say, simply because there's lots of dealer techs that make really good money. There's lots of dealer techs that don't make really good money. Overall, I would probably say independents probably make more money overall than dealer techs, but it's 100% a guess. It's just so hard to quantify that statistic. Rust Belt, I wear Redback work shoes with composite toe, EV rated, and comfy as all get out. Yep. Wear comfy shoes. Brian Larson, Brunt work boots have been the most comfortable for me. Last about a year. Had 2 pairs and now trying Ariat. Seems okay, just not as comfortable. Like anything else, how long have you been wearing them? So, JJ, what other trade would you want to work if you had to? Probably, if I had to, probably low voltage, like network installation, stuff like that. You know, running fiber optic and Ethernet and that kind of stuff, setting up networks, probably be the most fun for me. If I had to guess, haven't really looked into it at all. So, but you know, having a home lab for computers and stuff kind of is interesting to me. So, if it's not broke, fix it. Get a boot warmer and put your boots on it every night. Boot warmer and put your boots on it every night. I use Danner AdBlue steel with Australian-made ones. Back in the shop, areas are comfortable and pretty durable, but the cloth around the heel wears through after a year or so it's kind of annoying. Lexus wants me to have a pay cut at the start, then raise my pay as I grow. Comfort Medic. I mean, I guess you're coming from HVAC, so starting at the bottom, you're probably going to have a pay cut. My goal is to be a Lexus Master Certified Technician one day. Very nice goal. Mark M. I had a pair of Thorogoods for a year now. They're great. Almost zero wear on the tread. Plan to take them to a cobbler when they wear out. Okay. Good luck finding a cobbler if you... Mikas, what inspired you to start YouTube and what keeps you going? What inspired me is nobody in this industry on YouTube was talking about the issues in the industry. Nobody was talking about how to help young kids coming into this industry. Nobody was putting out information to help young technicians. And I've done it for years in shops I've worked for. I've always mentored young technicians wherever I've gone. And so it's like, you know, I can help these kids. And that's what started it, is, you know, helping people, you know, coming into this industry. And, you know, I joked about, you know, the tool reviews paid the bills and the rest of the content, you know, fed the technicians' souls and the audience. So, but yeah, that's... Chris, you could use your experience and skills to start a YouTube channel as another trade. Maybe talk about tools and flat rate stuff. Well, I already do that. I do have a second channel. It is about home lab stuff. If you don't know what that is, it's servers, networking, Linux, you know, stuff like that. But I do have a second channel called Creator Hardware. Georgia boots are very comfortable. Then soles last me over a year, and I weigh 275. I didn't have a problem talking about boots, Charles. Snap-on's getting crazy, Charles. Man, it is just nuts. They are not even caring about like, oh, yeah, reality. Screw that. Mark M., I'm thankful for the information you gave out. I'm glad it helps. Uh, that's literally why I started this channel, is to help young technicians. Um, I mean, when I started doing it, I never thought I would, you know, have 5,000 subscribers, let alone 50,000. You know, I always thought it would be, you know, help a few people here or there. You know, it's grown into what it is, so it's pretty cool. And every technician I help, you know, is always a good thing. Comfort Medic, I'm fine with a pay cut at the start. And I don't have to buy tools. They give me a starter tool set. That's awesome. Mark M, have you seen the snap-on boots? Yes, I even tried the snap-on boots on. I didn't like them, and they were stupid expensive. Brian Larson, do you have much experience with rust penetrant, and what is your favorite? My favorite-ish is PB Blaster. I've used several over the years. I've never used Kroll. I mean, primarily I'm in Georgia, so, you know, other than when I worked at the last shop that had a lot of transient population, you know, because they turned in new customers constantly. Other than the Minnesota, New York, Boston cars, I'd never really dealt with a lot of rust. It wasn't until I started working there that I had to deal with a lot of rust. Garrett, crazy part about Snap-on is like something I bought 4 years ago is like 40% more expensive. Yes, it's what I mean. They smoking some crack over there, man. Yeah, Garrett, yeah. I got my Snap-on Master fuel pressure tester for $400, and the Flyer, I think it was $700. Yeah, it's got stupid. James Lee Jr., that nightmare Volkswagen is gone. Awesome. T. Corrales, not going to lie, I'm a little worried for the next 5+ years of the industry, as a whole lot of old timers are retiring in auto and HD, and not many younger people want this type of job. Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be an interesting time. A lot of overworked technicians, and, you know, hopefully making a buttload of money. Chris, as an independent owner, I've tried many times to bring on green guys. Every time I am let down, it's so depressing. I want to help them, but this industry isn't too attractive to most. Yeah, no, Chris, that is a problem. Bringing you have to instill the passion of fixing cars, or they have to have that passion. If they view it like a job, it's harder to convince them why they should keep doing it. The guys that I've had that really latched onto it have always been, I like doing this. I want to do this, and I want to do better. And so that's, you know, but yeah, the success rate is not high. It's I would put it at about 50-50 in on average, probably closer to 60-40 in reality. On the 40% stay, 60% wash out. But yeah, it's when you have those kids that do make it and do apply themselves and become really, really good, it is a feeling you cannot beat. You know, when Cole left and went to work in California, you know, I was really, really proud of him, because he'd come to the shop as a kid that was basically doing only basic work, and he got to the point where he was doing complex diagnostics by himself, wasn't asking for help until like he was really screwed, not screwed, but, really deep, and had, kind of hit a wall, is when he asked for help. And he didn't care that he wasn't making money. He wanted to figure out how to fix that car. And he applied himself. He learned as much as he could. Now he's like one of their top guys at Callis in California. So pretty awesome to have a guy like that, that I basically mentored. So that's the awesome part. Comfort, I have a friend that works there. Cool. Kind of know how the atmosphere is. LOL Charles, LOL Rust Belt, don't fix any oil leaks. Tell them it's just adding oil. That was way everything stays slow because you don't have to take it out easily. I really don't know. And Jordan, any experience with top-down scanner? Thinking about a Phoenix Lite 2 to make up for things. My Snap-on, and that one will also break the bank. It's based on a launch tool, scan tool. They're really good. I have one. I don't remember exactly what, but I have a review on my channel of the Top Done I reviewed. It's the software's launch. It's just a rebranded launch tool, so it's good. It'll complement your Snap-on very well. T. Corrales, that goes for blue-collar jobs as a whole, but in my job, 3 mechanics retire in the next 3 to 5 years, and a lot of senior drivers are set to retire, and the new guys don't have a clue. Unfortunately, that's common in every industry right now. After Gen X, don't blame us, just stating fact, less and less people have kids, and it's a trend that's happening all over the world, and there's just less people to do the same jobs. So, it's going to be a problem. Comfort, I'm willing to learn anything they show me. Awesome. His uncle has $27,000 in Snap-on debt. He's a body shop owner. He's a body shop owner. That's pennies to him. Charles, the main tool for what we need to do is here. If your feet hurt all day, you can't work because you can't stand all day. Yes, that's yes. I mean, good footwear is essential to doing this job. Jack's Auto Repair, by the time the Zeus is outdated, I'll be on Social Security. It won't be long. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Charles, Snap-on has a Torx set in this month's flyer for almost $1,100. I can suck it. I bought mine from like $199 Matco, but it was like 12 years ago. Milwaukee headphone review. No. I'm not a headphone review channel. Comfort, any tips to show my manager that I'm willing to learn and hustle? Show him. It's literally, when he asks you to do something, do it quickly, do it efficiently, and make sure your quality is there. Quality is always going to be more important than speed. Remember that. Quality counts. I know everybody preaches speed, but if the car comes back, it's going to slow you down. So fix the car right. Do whatever he asks for, you'll be fine. Chris, more demand and less supply means rates go up. Top 5% bell curve auto tech is going to be making 150 per year in 5 years. Yeah, pretty much. And that's the 5%, not the top 1%. So yeah, he's not wrong about that. How to auto repair. Pretty disappointed my Platinum S10 Pro Think Tool would not retract rear brake caliper on a Nissan Pathfinder 21 today. I don't know. What is the better alternative to launch to the Autel MX808 for beginning tech, like that you said you recommend? The basic launch scan tool for about the same amount of money will do the same, or Top Done. All pretty good. Yeah, the model numbers are always so confusing. Nope. Not. Products. You know, like the Artidag Pro for $499, Artidag 900 Lite for $459, you know, something like that from Top Done. You know, one of those. But yeah, Launcher or Top Dunner or something like that. Let's not cut the live stream. Made that mistake last day. JJ, ever thought of moving to another state? Yeah, those plans have been canceled, actually. We were actually considering moving to Texas. My wife is from Texas, and you know, my kids are graduating from high school and college this year, and other than the mother-in-law that lives with us, there's nothing really holding us to Georgia. Her dad, the rest of her family's in Texas, and then my wife got rehired by her old company, so those plans got kiboshed. So now she has we have a reason to stay in Georgia, because basically she's got a job till she retires, and a really good job. Omar, I just saw the headphone. I thought of you. LOL. Okay. I don't use a lot of, the thing is like, I use like these kind of headphones, but I don't actually use like in-ear headphones much. My truck has Bluetooth and a Q charger, so I don't use, and I sticking them in my ear, they wind up falling off and I wind up destroying them. But anyway, Comfort Medic, I plan on wrenching till I can't no more. I also plan to get ASE certified. You will have Toyota because they require it. Steve 71, are the Amazon Autels a bad idea versus the licensed distributor? The problem is you buy the Amazon Autel, you have zero support. So if it breaks, you're on your own. There's no warranty center that's going to fix it. You'd have no recourse because it was not sold by Amazon. US. The subscriptions are going to be a little toothy because it's not an Amazon or Autel US product. So you're probably going to have to buy it from whoever you bought it from. So yes, it is not the best idea to buy from gray market products. Or you can take, cheap enough and you figure if it lasts 2 years, which it probably about will, how long it'll last. You don't want to update it. Don't for 2 years and then get a new one. Not exactly the most green thing to do, but realistically, that may be how it works. Chris, nobody likes a brown noser. Talk is cheap. Put in the work. Show up. Eat early. Put 100% in your craft. Speed is a product of experience, therefore efficiency, not sweat. Yep. Matthew Hart, any tips for getting into the industry? Should I go to the trade school route or go start as a helper? If you can find a shop that is willing to hire you on as a inexperienced technician that's willing to train you, that's a really good way to get in this industry. Dealerships are also an option because they will bring you on and train you with probably better training than the aftermarket situation. My recommendation would be go to a trade school that is not stupid expensive. So not, really having a problem with names today. One of the really UTI. Those kind of schools don't spend a crap ton of money on it. But yeah, starting a trade school will give you a lot of fundamentals that'll help you learn further on down the road. But however you think is the best way for you to get in, can you afford going to school? Do you need to get paid? Can you work around school? Stuff like that is what works best for your life. My advice is figure out what's going to work for you. Seek that path out. Mark M. Started from zero, showed up, worked and learned, watched an unhealthy amount of YouTube mechanics. It worked out. I bought better specialty tools to make up for my lack of experience. Awesome, man. Yeah, D. Corrales, exactly. Comfort Medic, what ASEs that are required for Lexus Toyota? In order to be a master Toyota technician, you have to be an ASE certified master technician. So A1 through A8 is my understanding. If you can pass the Toyota stuff, you will have no problem passing the ASEs. So, oh yeah, and 609 refrigerant test, yeah. Jack's Auto Repair. I'm going to get some Captain Crunch. All right. The thing about, T. Corrales says there's a thing, son, the job you learn at a school will never teach you. Yes. No, there's stuff that it's hard to learn in the field properly. And that is theory and, the book learning stuff is hard to learn in the field. But once you know that, it's easier to apply it in the field. And when you have to go through all of that, when you have the fundamentals, but the lessons in the field are, the book isn't always right. So yes, there's they're both hard-earned ways of learning stuff. So there is no right way. It's just what works for you. Charles, I started in '06 when the housing market crashed. On my 4th day, I forgot to pump the brakes or wasn't told because I didn't know and crashed a car into another car that was on a lift many years ago. I have my EPA card. Is it the 609 though? Is it the mobile? Because there's 2 different tests for. So you may it's an online class. It's like $20 or whatever. It's not a big deal, and if you do HVAC, you will be able to pass it. Yeah, as Charles says, if you can find a shop that will let you train, go for it. Yeah. Sergio School is good for the theory and operations, basic principles. Yep. Matthew Hart, appreciate everyone's tips. I'm coming out of the airport as a jet engine guy, so this is definitely an industry I'm interested in. Yeah, Mark M 608 is everything except auto. 609 is only auto. But yeah, it's an online test and it's not hard. And it's a lifetime as well. Charles says go work for Delta. You know, if you don't want to work on aircraft, a lot of stuff will translate, but a lot of stuff will not. So figure out how to transition in your area. But I mean, it's more complex and less complex depending on. So but yeah, I mean, it's you're going to be starting out on the bottom, Matthew, you know, because you're not going to have experience working on cars. So understand that. And then, you know, find a place that would hire you. I mean, you probably have a good bit of experience that it probably find a decent job coming from the Air Force and your service to us. Thank you, by the way, for serving our country. But yeah, I would probably find, you know, you'll probably be able to translate pretty easily into the private sector in an auto repair shop, especially if you have base experience working on cars too. All right. The levels are rising. So any last questions before I get out of here? You know what I mean? All right, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Hope everybody had a good night. Have a good rest of your night. And as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.